Salut tout le monde! Hey guys, it's Zalika with the French American fam. Today I want to talk with you guys about some things Americans could learn from the French. Yes, France is our ally and in a lot of ways they are beating us. They are ahead of the game and they have figured out certain things, and I feel like America needs to adopt these practices. Now, if you like cultural commentary, especially about America and France, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like this video because I created an entire series about French and American culture. And just to remind you guys, I am an American married to a French man and we are living here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So here are a few things that Americans could learn from the French way of life. Let's get into it. First up is work-life balance. The French truly prioritize their time off. They normally get 5 weeks off and have a typical 35-hour work week with very strong labor protections. Typically, when they take their vacations, they are completely disconnected from work. That means no work calls, no work emails, no checking in on how everything's going. A lot of French people take their time off at the end of the summer around August. Businesses, schools, everything empty during this time of the year because a lot of business owners and employees, they take their time off and they all go at the same time. I've actually heard that it's not a great time to travel to France around August because so many businesses are closed. And that's because the French really prioritize their self-care and their time off. Unlike Americans who often don't take time off or they don't have guaranteed paid time off. A lot of Americans don't even take their vacations or they keep saving up all of these hours of vacation time and they just don't take it. In France, it's actually required by law that once a person goes on vacation, they're actually disconnected, meaning you're not supposed to call them or email them outside of work hours, or if you do, they're not required to respond. Here in the US, life seems to revolve around work. And in France, it seems like work revolves around life. The next thing that Americans could learn from the French is job security. I just don't understand why here in America you have to give 2 weeks notice if you want to quit a job, yet American employers can fire you at any time for any reason. They call this at-will employment. If you sign on to work for a company and you've been doing great at this company and there's nothing wrong, you haven't done anything wrong, your performance is outstanding, they could still fire you or let you go at any moment. In France, there are strict labor laws, and if you want to let go of an employee, there is a legitimate process that takes a lot of time and documentation. The level of security French workers have reduces a lot of work-related stress. And compare that to the US, where people have a lot of work-related stress tied to insecurity about their job. Now in France, lunch is sacred. Lunchtime is a time to decompress, relax, turn your computer off, and get away from your desk and eat a real meal at a table without any other work-related distractions. This time at lunch is so meaningful for the French, and they really don't respond to emails, sit in front of the computer. They're normally focused on the meal and on relaxing. Here in the US, you can often find people working and eating lunch at their desk in front of the computer, and a lot of Americans don't even take a real lunch break and go out of the office. Typically, lunchtime is between 30 minutes and an hour, and they won't really take that time to disconnect fully. They'll continue to look at emails or maybe scroll on their phone. That little cultural difference around lunchtime says so much about how each country values rest and enjoyment. Next up is taxes, something everybody loves. In France, taxes are pretty high, but they fund things like universal health care, free or low-cost education, maternity and paternity leave, unemployment benefits, and many other benefits that people can use. Whereas here in the US, we do tend to pay high taxes, but that doesn't necessarily mean everyone can benefit from those taxes. For example, we still don't have universal health care, and we don't have mandatory maternity or paternity leave programs. If you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you never miss a video in this series. Your support means the world to me. Next up is solidarity and collective action. I really admire the French and their ability to protest for seemingly anything. When the French feel like something is unfair, they will protest. They will gather as a community and fight for their rights, and normally that does produce change. Just recently, I was in Paris and I noticed that there were like no taxis out. So I was really curious what was happening, and of course, they were on strike. They were having a protest. The US is a much bigger country, so it is a lot more difficult for people to group together, especially because there is so much of a divide between the urban areas and the rural areas. This makes it much more difficult to push for changes that benefit everyone. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please don't forget to like and subscribe this video because your support means so much to me. Bye!